consider completing a new Form W-4 each year and when your personal or financial situation changes, whether you got a second job, whether you got married, or your spouse gets a second job or changes the job, whether you're unemployed for the part of the year, or you got married or divorced, or you have a baby. These are some of the examples as to when you start thinking about the W-4 form. I'll be sharing this W-4 form, how you can fill out in less than 5 minutes on your own. In addition, I'll be also sharing the tax withholding estimator from the IRS website. Both of these links in the description below, so don't forget to click and review that yourself. W4 form, let's fill out. Step number 1 is entering your personal information. You want to enter your first name, middle initial, and last name. So here in this example, John is the first name, no middle initial, and the last name is Smith. So we are going to add John Smith for this example. Then you want to add your social security number in section B. In this example, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you want to add your address, 123 Main Street, city and or town name, state and zip, my town, CA, California, and the zip is 90032. Then you want to move into section C, which is one of the most important section that I want you to pay very close attention to. So whether you're single or married, filing separately, you want to mark this. So for John Smith, he is going to be single. If you're married, filing jointly, or qualifying survival spouse, you want to check off the second box. Whether you're a head of household, you want to check off the third box. For head of household, check only if you are unmarried and pay more than half of the cost of keeping up a home for yourself and a qualifying individual. You need to fill this out and you're almost done for simple use case. Now complete steps 2 to 4 only if that apply to you, or you can skip to step number 5. So I'll walk you through step number 2, 3, and 4, but the last thing you want to do in your very simple situation is just to sign here where it says employee signature. You want to sign here, you want to put today's date, and you're all done. But let me walk you through real quick what is step 2 to 4 tells you to do. So for step 2, complete this step if you hold more than one job at a time. So if you just have one job, you don't need to worry about. So if you have a second job, I strongly recommend you fill this out. Number 2, if you're married, filing jointly, or your spouse are also working. So you want to also consider that. The third thing is the correct amount of withholding depends on the income earned from all these jobs. Many times people have heavy refund at the end of the year. Many times you also have to pay back to IRS because the withholding is not correct. In those cases, you definitely want to go through step 2, 3, and 4. So let me walk you through. So use one of the following. So here is the IRS.go W4 app. It is tax withholding estimator. As you can see right here, you can go through how it works and what you need. But all you need to do is just click here. I'll get back to you on this very quickly. If you have multiple jobs worksheet on page 3, then you enter the results. You want to go through this worksheet right here, step 2B, and fill out this and get this number in number 4, and then you get to step 4B and you want to go through this step by step. But for the sake of this example, which is very straightforward and simple, I'm not going to walk you through that. If you need more help, write down in the comment section below. If there are only 2 jobs total, you may want to check this box off and you want to go through this W4 for the other job. Now let's go to step number 3. That applies to whoever is claiming the dependent or other credits. Let's say if your income is less than $200,000, you want to multiply the number of qualifying children under age 17 and you want to multiply that by 2,000. If you have 2 children, 2 times 2,000, you want to enter 4,000 right here. And you want to multiply the number of other dependents by $500. So if you are supporting your parents or anyone elderly, you want to do the multiplication by 500. So if you have 2 dependents, you want to do 2 times 500, which is $1,000 right here. You want to add this box and this box, add the number in box number 3 with the dollar amount. So that's step 3 for claiming the dependent or getting on other credit. The step 4 is optional or the other adjustments. Other income, if you want tax withheld for other income you expect this year that won't have withholding, enter the amount of income here. This may include some interest, some dividends, or the retirement income. So put down that number in 4A. For the deduction, if you expect to claim deduction other than standard deduction, for most of us, it is going to be standard deduction, so don't worry about that. If you are doing itemized deduction on your tax return, you really want to consult your tax professional before you add this here. So for the most simple return, you don't really need to worry about it. If not, you want to enter your deduction in section 4B, and or if you want to put any extra withholding, write down in section 4C. So enter any additional tax you want to withhold from each pay period. In other words, let's say at the end of the year, you end up paying more and more to IRS. You want to withhold slightly more into each paycheck, so that makes it up and you don't have to pay more money at the end of the tax filing at the end of the year in 4C. After you're done, you want to go to step 5 and sign the signature. So employee's signature, you sign it here, you put today's date, and you give this to your payroll department. Now let me jump right into it, how you can find out tax withholding estimator. So this is the tax withholding estimator on IRS's website. Link is in the description below, and you can find out the best estimate for the year ahead to determine how to complete the W4 form. So first step is information about you. In this case, we are going to mark single. Do you or will you have a job or a pension that regularly withholds a federal income tax from your paycheck? I'm going to mark yes because John Smith has a job. Select that applies. Any of that applies. I plan to claim dependent on my tax return. I'll be 65 years or older, I'm blind, or I can be claimed as dependent on someone else's tax return. None of this applies in this case for John Smith, so we're going to leave it blank and go to the next page. Here we are going to say the first income source. So if you have a W-2 job or any hourly job, you want to write down here. For John Smith, it's going to be salary, so we have marked salary here. Select the best description or the income. If you are going to work all year long, that is January 1st to December 31st, which is the case for most of the people, click the button here that says all year. How frequently you get paid? Twice monthly, which is a very common case for many of us, so twice monthly. If you get paid every 2 weeks, write down here as well. When did your most recent pay period ended? In this case, it ended July 31st, 2024. So I'm going to click this and go back to July 31st. Check on the box and write down 7/31/2024. What was your most recent pay date? That was 8/1/2024, which is August 1st. So write down that there as well. Enter wages or salary pay period, which is $3,000 per pay period for John. Enter wages or salary for the year to date. You can find out very easily on your pay stub, which is $35,000 for John. So we're going to add that. Based on the information you provided, it looks like your total income for the job year will be $59,000. So verify that whether this is correct or not. This is calculated by IRS's website on its own automatically. So mark down yes because that's true for John and enter the federal taxes paid per each pay period, which is going to be $250 for John. So we're going to write $250. Enter federal tax paid year to date that you can find on your pay stub, $3,500 for John. Select that applies for this job, whether you contribute to 401k, you want to tell the IRS on this estimator. Enter the amount pay period, which is $100. Enter the amount year to date that you have contributed to 401k, which is $1,400 for John. After that, you go to the other sources of income. For this case, it's not self-employment income, no investment income or nothing along those lines. So John is going to mark none of the above. And after that, you want to click on one more thing. After that, you want to enter the withholding and estimated tax payment for any other source of income that you have. So estimated tax payment for John, there is no other job or anything like that. So we are going to put the federal taxes that he has paid year to date, which is $3,500. You simply enter into the estimated tax payment, which is your enter the tax payment amount that you made year to date. And then you click on the next button and you should be able to see the adjustment to income screen. If you are paying any student loan interest, write down here for yearly, For John, he is paying $750 in student loan interest every year, and he's planning to get the deduction for that amount. After that adjustment, click on the next button and you should be able to see the screen where it says standard or itemized deduction. Right here, most people take standard deduction, but you may have itemized deduction if you have mortgage, large gift, you have charity, or large medical expenses. Consider itemized deduction. Your standard deduction amount is calculated $14,600. So in this case, John is going to mark just standard deduction. So click on no, just use standard deduction and click on the next button. You should be able to see tax credit. It will ask you for your age. How old will you be on January 1st next year, which is 25 years old for John. And if you have any circumstances right here, click on this and you should be able to add whether you have any child or dependent credit, any foreign tax credit, educational credit, or retirement savings, so on and so forth, that you can go through on your own. Click on the next button and you should be able to see the result. Based on the information that you have entered, you're withholding more than tax that you need to get from your paycheck. Withholding more tax than you need to. In this case, expected tax withholding is $9,250. Anticipated tax obligation is $4,777. So you're withholding more taxes than you are required to. You are required to pay estimated $4,733 in taxes, and you are paying with the pays that the information that you gave is $9,250. So the projected refund at the end of the year whenever you file your taxes is going to be $4,517. Once you get that, you can scroll down and you can download this pre-filled W-4 form on your own that tells you your job, your spouse's job, annual pre-tax wages, which is $59,000 for John. Everything calculates on its own automatically. I hope you like this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video.